Mahalo everyone, and welcome to another deck video here on the Jolly Scarecrows channel. You're with me, Joe, and today I'm presenting a Melodious deck for Master Duel specifically. If you want to unlock the cards for this deck, you'll need to unlock the secret pack, A Song of Zephyr and Petals, which has the Melodious and Wind-Witch monsters in it. The artwork isn't available on Wikipedia just yet, and that's what I normally have below me to indicate which secret pack to unlock. The Melodious monsters are a series of fairies. They focus upon rapid special summoning and, more recently, a focus on fusion summoning bosses and inflicting a whole load of damage from a single attack. And we'll go into a bit later how they do that. Your kind of main monsters involve, as you say, special summoning. So this cannon, if you control Melodious, you can special summon it from the hand. We're running 3 of those. The Soprano, when it's special summoned, you can bring back a Melodious from the graveyard, and then you can make a fusion summon using that card. So you don't need the polymerization, even though we're not running that. We're running the Melodious specific fusion spell, and we'll get to why in a bit. Sonata has a similar effect to Cannon in that it can be special summoned straight away. And Solo is if your opponent has monsters and you don't, you can special summon that. So you can quickly, if you open up with a Solo, Cannon, and a Sonata, get 3 special summons off without even using your normal. And then you can, I guess, maybe even normal Soprano and then make a fusion summon. The key card, I think, to making this deck work is this Ostinato. So if you control no monsters, you can fusion summon a Melodious straight from materials in your deck. And that's important because the majority of Melodious fusions need to have a Maestra. And the Maestras are a bit of a pain. They're double sacrificing, and they don't really have particularly good effects to get them on the field. So you'll be wanting to both minimize the amount that are in your deck. We're only running 2 here. One of each of Shapinia and Mazata. And you'll be wanting to get rid of one of those and then another Melodious in order to play either this Bloom Diva or Bloom Primer. Now, Primer is best used with the Soprano because its effect it relates to how many Melodious you've used to fusion summon it, and it can make a second attack in the battle phase. So you can pump this up with the field, as we kind of explained earlier, to somewhere in the region of about 3,000, and then it can make a second attack. So you're inflicting the potential of 6,000 damage with this card. I think Bloom Diva is the one you'll be most likely to go for with the effect of Ostinato. It can't be destroyed by battle card effects, so you don't take any battle damage. Plus, if it battles a special summoned monster, you get to inflict damage equal to its original attack and destroy the monster. So even though it only has 1,000 attack, this is brutal. And it's especially brutal when it's paired with Score. So Score, if your Melodious monster is battling, you can send it from your hand to the graveyard to change your opponent's monster's attack and defense to 0. So even any kind of your Melodious monsters can get over other threats, but this effect also inflicts damage to its original attack. So you'll get both effects off, and you'll even get 1,000 damage from beating over your opponent's monster. The Melodious that we're running we're running Aria. So if it's special summoned, they can't be targeted by card effects or destroyed by battle. It's a really nice card, but you don't want to see a lot of it because it can't special summon itself. And we're also running 1 copy of Elegy, which is, again, special summon Melodious can't be destroyed by card effects. Shapinia has, it's an okay effect. Target a light fairy in your grave, add it to your hand, so you can recycle some of the cards you've maybe used for the fusion summon. And Mazata also lets you keep special summoning fairies from the hand, but it does lock you into fairies, light monsters, sorry, which is the only cards we're running, except for in the extra. 2 more cards to consider in terms of special summoning your fairies. First movement solo, if you control no monsters, special summon a level 4 from your hand or deck. So you can, that's kind of how I would bring out Aria. If you've got Melodious on the field, or sorry, if you've got the capacity to get Melodious on the field, start off with first movement solo, get out Aria, and then spam your special summons, because then they can't be destroyed by card effects or by battle. And only when you're in a good position to then fusion summon off some of your other ones into some of these, because then they're impenetrable. We're also playing the Artifact engine. We think it kind of works well in this deck. So basically it prevents you from having other types of monsters on the field, but it's also a bit disruptive to what your opponent can do. So we're playing 3 copies of Ignition, 3 copies of Sanctum, and then 2 Scythe, 1 Morale Tech, and 1 Lancia. And this is more a preference depending on what your opponent is going to be having. Obviously, Scythe can really lock down your opponent's special summons, but sometimes you might not want that depending on the kind of fusions you've got. If you're using Bloom Diva, you want them to have 1 special summoned thing so that you can use its effect. Schuberta is here as well, and in a pinch you can play it. It's actually one of the stronger ones. During either player's turn, you can banish cards in any graveyard to increase its attack. So this is honestly, the attack increase isn't really useful, but the banishing effect can work surprisingly well against certain decks if you know that they're going to try and revive or use in graveyard effects. This is one of the best counters to that. The rest of the extra deck is kind of generic, except for, this was the other card of Melodious I was going to mention, the Link. And we're running 3 copies of this because it's a really good card. Basically, discard 1, special summon 2 Melodious with different levels. So we're running a variety of different levels in this deck. You can't, then it locks you out of special summoning other cards, but it also prevents your opponent from activating anything into the end of the damage step when your Melodious monsters attack. And so yeah, that can stop them using, mirror forces, non-targeting removal. In particular, as you see, this deck is very much about that battle interaction. So if you've prevented your monsters being destroyed by card effects, but they're playing something, one of the new mirror forces that bounce or banish or something like that, you can protect it with the blue. So that's its second effect. Obviously, its main ability is to just special summon Melodious monsters at will, and you can bring out your Aria, you can bring out your Soprano, and really go from there to try and win the game. So yeah, that's a brief run through of the Melodious. We'll try and get a playthrough for this deck on the channel in the not too distant future, and we'll see you for another deck video in the meantime. Thanks for watching.